At 9 p.m. tonight, a financial miracle will be released in your name, but only if you stay silent. My beloved child, stop. Take a breath. Something hidden is unfolding for you right now, and the universe guided you here for a reason you may not yet understand. This is not random. This is not coincidence. There is a quiet revelation moving through the unseen, and it is calling your name gently, patiently, exactly as you are. There is something the divine has been holding back, not to punish you, but to prepare you. The delays, the silence, the moments where you felt overlooked were not empty. They were sacred pauses. Hidden within them was alignment. Hidden within them was timing. And now, the veil is thinning. I feel this message meeting you personally, as if it was written with your heartbeat in mind. You've carried questions you couldn't speak out loud. You've asked the universe for a sign, not loudly, but in the stillness of your own spirit. And the answer is arriving softly, yet powerfully. The universe wants you to know this. Not everything meant for you announces itself with noise. Some blessings arrive only in silence, only when your heart is steady and your faith is calm. This is why you were guided here now, at this exact moment, to hear what has been hidden from others. There is a shift taking place tonight, quiet, precise, divinely ordered. No rushing. No forcing. Just alignment. And in that alignment, a door opens that has been closed longer than you realize. The universe whispers, not shouts, because this message is for those who are listening with the soul. Hear this clearly, and receive it gently. At 9 p.m. tonight, a financial miracle will be released in your name, but only if you stay silent. This is not about fear. This is about trust. Silence is not absence, it is power. Silence is where the divine finalizes what words would only interrupt. What is being prepared for you does not need explanation, defense, or announcement. It needs space. Something hidden is being unlocked, not because you chased it, but because you endured. Because you stayed when it would have been easier to walk away. Because you believed, even when belief felt heavy. Destiny responds to that kind of faith. Let this message settle in you like light. You don't need to convince anyone. You don't need to prove anything. The universe sees you. The divine knows your name. And what is coming will bring clarity, relief, and a quiet sense of purpose that reminds you, you were never forgotten. Stay open. Stay calm. Stay aligned. If this message touched your spirit, stay with this energy and watch this video completely. Like this video to seal the intention, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to the channel to stay connected to these divine messages meant for you. Hear me now, child of breath and becoming. I speak not from thunder alone, but from the quiet place you have almost forgotten. I am the God who formed you before your doubts learned your name, and I am speaking to you directly, not to frighten you, not to pressure you, but to awaken something that has been sleeping beneath your noise. Tonight is not marked by coincidence. Time itself has leaned forward, listening, waiting for you to notice that something unseen is moving on your behalf. I know how heavy your thoughts have been. I have seen the way you replay conversations that never gave you peace, the way numbers and responsibilities circle your mind like unanswered prayers. You have wondered if your effort has been invisible. If your patience has been mistaken for weakness, if silence has cost you what speaking might have earned. But listen carefully now, because silence is not absence. Silence is alignment. Silence is where I do my deepest work, at 9 p.m. tonight. When the world begins to slow and the day exhales, something will be released in your name. Not because you demanded it, not because you proved yourself worthy, but because you remained still long enough for me to move without interference. You have been tempted to explain yourself, to announce your plans, to defend your position, to tell everyone what you are waiting for. Yet I asked you, gently and repeatedly, to remain quiet. Not as punishment, but as protection. There are doors that only open when the room is quiet enough to hear the key turn. This is not about sudden riches falling from the sky, nor is it about spectacle. What I release carries wisdom with it. It may arrive as an opportunity, an idea, a connection, a correction, or a shift you do not immediately recognize as provision. But it will be precise. It will fit where nothing else has fit. It will answer prayers you prayed in exhaustion, not confidence. And it will come because you did not rush ahead of me with your words. I am teaching you that not every battle is won by speaking, and not every blessing is announced before it arrives. Some things are fragile in their beginning. Some seeds must grow in darkness before they ever see light. If you had spoken too soon, others would have misunderstood, interfered, or planted doubt where faith was still forming. I kept you quiet because I was keeping you safe. You thought silence meant delay. I tell you now, silence meant preparation. Tonight is not about watching the clock in fear or anticipation. It is about posture. It is about where your heart rests when nothing seems to be happening. I am not moved by panic, and I am not rushed by urgency. I move in alignment, and I invite you into that same rhythm. When you stop striving to control the outcome, you create space for me to arrange details you cannot reach. There are conversations happening that you are not part of, and that is by design. There are decisions being influenced in ways you will never see, and that is mercy. There are paths being redirected quietly, without announcement, and you will one day look back and realize how much trouble you avoided simply by staying still, do not mistake quiet obedience for passivity. Stillness is active trust. I know you have felt overlooked. I know you have wondered if others are advancing while you remain hidden. But I hide what I value until it is ready. I conceal before I reveal. I strengthen roots before I allow branches to be seen. What I am releasing is not meant to impress the crowd. It is meant to sustain you. It will not require you to betray your peace or your integrity. It will not pull you away from who you are becoming. It will align with your values, not test them. You have asked me how long you must wait. I answer you now, not much longer, but long enough to learn that waiting with me is not wasted time. At 9 p.m. tonight, let your silence be sacred. Turn down the noise that competes for your attention. Step away from the urge to scroll, to compare, to seek reassurance from voices that cannot see what I am doing. Sit with me. Breathe. Let your thoughts settle. You do not need to perform. You do not need the perfect words. Your willingness to be present is enough. I am not asking you to isolate yourself from love or wisdom. I am asking you to refrain from broadcasting what I am building privately. There is a difference. Silence does not mean secrecy born of fear, it means discretion born of trust. When the time comes to speak, your words will carry weight because they were formed in quiet. I know you are tired of hoping. I know you are weary of believing just one more time. But hear this clearly, I have not forgotten you. I have not delayed out of neglect. I have been aligning circumstances so that what comes next does not collapse under its own weight. You are not late. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be for this moment. Do not try to force meaning onto the sign. Let the sign unfold. What I release may not announce itself as a miracle at first glance. It may look ordinary. It may require a step of courage. It may ask you to say yes where you once said no, or to let go where you once held tight. Trust me enough to recognize that provision does not always look like abundance in its earliest form. I am more concerned with your peace than your applause. I am more invested in your stability than your speed. Tonight, when the hour arrives, do not strain to feel something dramatic. Faith is not measured by emotion. Faith is measured by surrender. Simply acknowledge me. Simply thank me in advance, not for what you think you are receiving, but for who I am regardless of outcome. Gratitude opens doors that effort cannot. There are lessons you could only learn in the waiting. There is humility that grows in the quiet. There is discernment that sharpens when you stop reacting to every voice. You are not being silenced, you are being refined. And what emerges from refinement carries authority without shouting. I am shaping your understanding of value. You are learning that worth is not determined by numbers, titles, or external validation. True provision includes clarity, wisdom, timing, and peace. Without those, abundance becomes burden. With them, even small beginnings flourish. Do not look for confirmation from those who doubted you. Do not seek validation from those who could not see your process. What I am doing does not require consensus. It requires trust. You may be tempted, once you sense the shift, to break your silence prematurely. To announce, to explain, to celebrate loudly before the work is complete. Resist that urge just a little longer. Let the thing settle. Let it take shape. Let it root itself. There will be a time to speak, and when that time comes, your words will be clear, calm, and free of desperation. I am not withholding from you. I am teaching you how to hold what is coming. Remember this. I do not test you to see if you will fail. I prepare you so you will endure. What I place in your hands must be matched by the strength of your character. Tonight is part of that preparation. Silence is not the end of your story, it is the pause before the turn. Stay with me. Stay attentive. Stay grounded. The world will rush you tomorrow, but tonight belongs to alignment. Tonight belongs to trust. Tonight belongs to the quiet work that does not announce itself but changes everything beneath the surface, and as the hour approaches, do not let fear speak louder than faith. Do not let impatience interrupt peace. I am closer than you think. I am already working. What I am releasing will meet you where you are, and it will invite you forward, gently, deliberately, wisely. Remain still a little longer, not because you are powerless, but because power is being arranged around you in ways you cannot yet see. And the moment is unfolding, layer by layer, breath by breath, as I continue to speak into the silence, drawing you deeper into understanding, deeper into trust, deeper into the unfolding purpose that has not yet finished revealing itself, because this message is not complete yet, and I am not finished speaking because there is still more you need to hear, and I will not rush what is meant to be received slowly. You have been trained by the world to believe that urgency equals importance, that loudness equals truth, that visibility equals value. But I am untraining you. I am rewiring the places where fear once sat, replacing it with discernment. I am showing you that the most powerful shifts often happen without witnesses. Mountains do not announce when they move beneath the earth. Seeds do not ask permission before breaking open underground. And you, too, are allowed to transform quietly. I see the questions you are afraid to ask out loud. You wonder if staying silent means you are missing opportunities, if patience is costing you time you cannot afford to lose. You wonder if others will pass you by, if the moment will slip away while you wait. But hear me clearly now, nothing meant for you can miss you. What bypasses you is never assigned to sustain you. What arrives late in human timing often arrives right on time in eternal order. There are systems adjusting around you. There are patterns breaking that you inherited but did not choose. There are expectations dissolving that once defined your worth. I am not just preparing a provision, I am preparing you to receive without fear of loss. Because what I give you, I intend to keep with you, not to tease you with temporary relief. You have known seasons where things came quickly and left just as fast. That was not failure, it was education. You learned what it feels like to grasp without grounding, to celebrate without stability. Now I am giving you something different. This time, the miracle is wrapped in maturity. This time, the blessing does not demand that you sacrifice your peace to maintain it. At 9 p.m. tonight, something shifts internally before it ever becomes visible externally. A heaviness you have carried begins to loosen. A pressure you normalized begins to lift. You may not even have words for it at first. You may simply notice that you can breathe a little deeper, think a little clearer, rest a little easier. Do not dismiss that. That is not imagination. That is alignment. I am recalibrating your sense of security. You have been conditioned to believe that security comes from control, from certainty, from knowing every step in advance. But true security comes from trust in something greater than your planning. I am teaching you to stand on that kind of ground now. Do not underestimate the power of obedience that no one applauds. When you chose not to respond to provocation, I saw it. When you chose not to explain yourself to those committed to misunderstanding you, I honored it. When you held back words that could have defended your pride but damaged your future, I counted that as wisdom. These moments mattered more than you know. You are not being ignored, you are being shielded. There are energies, intentions, and influences that do not need access to what I am building in you. Silence has been your boundary. Quiet has been your covering. While you thought nothing was happening, I was filtering who and what could reach you. Not everyone deserves front-row access to your becoming. You have been learning restraint, and restraint is a form of strength. It is the ability to pause instead of react, to listen instead of dominate, to wait instead of rush. This is not weakness, this is mastery. And mastery prepares you for stewardship. What I release is connected to responsibility. It is not just for your comfort, it is for your growth. It will stretch you, but it will not break you. It will invite you to think differently about resources, about value, about impact. You will begin to see opportunities where you once saw obstacles, solutions where you once saw limitations. But this clarity requires quiet. The world will try to pull you back into noise the moment you feel grounded. It will demand opinions, updates, explanations. You do not owe everyone access to your inner process. Choose carefully what you share and with whom. Wisdom speaks selectively. I know you are tempted to seek signs everywhere, to analyze every moment for meaning, to look for confirmation in every conversation. Rest from that. Faith does not require constant proof. Trust grows best when it is not interrogated every minute. Tonight is not a test you can fail. It is an invitation you can accept simply by being present. I am not asking you to isolate yourself from joy. Laugh if laughter comes. Rest if rest calls you. But let your joy be rooted, not performative. Let your peace be genuine, not forced. You do not need to convince anyone that you are okay. You need to know that you are held. As the hours pass, you may feel a subtle urge to revisit old worries, to rehearse worst-case scenarios, to mentally prepare for disappointment. Gently release those thoughts. They are habits, not prophecies. You no longer need them to protect yourself. I am covering what you cannot control. There are lessons you are still integrating. You are learning that you do not have to chase what is meant to find you. You are learning that desperation clouds judgment, but patience sharpens it. You are learning that your voice carries more authority when it is not constantly in use. I am restoring your relationship with trust. Not blind trust, but grounded trust. The kind that knows when to act and when to wait. The kind that recognizes timing as part of the gift. Do not confuse silence with invisibility. I see you fully. I know the effort it took to stay calm when you wanted to react. I know the discipline it took to hold back when you wanted to speak. I know the faith it took to keep showing up even when progress felt slow. None of this is wasted. What I am doing now is layering. Each quiet moment adds strength. Each unspoken prayer adds depth. Each surrendered expectation adds flexibility. When the release comes, it will not overwhelm you because you have been gradually prepared to hold it. You may be expecting a dramatic turning point, a single moment that changes everything instantly. Sometimes that happens. But more often, transformation arrives as a series of gentle adjustments that, over time, change the entire direction of your life. Do not overlook the small shifts. They are often the most permanent. I am not just concerned with what happens to you, I am concerned with what happens within you. Because what happens within you determines how you experience everything else. Tonight, choose to trust the quiet. Choose to believe that not knowing every detail does not mean you are unprepared. Choose to rest in the understanding that I am not late, distracted, or uncertain. I am intentional. You have survived seasons you once thought would undo you. You adapted to circumstances you never planned for. You learned resilience in places you never wanted to be. That strength is not accidental. It is part of your preparation. What comes next will require discernment more than speed, wisdom more than reaction, presence more than performance. You are ready for that, even if you do not fully believe it yet. I am not asking you to suppress your emotions. I am asking you to anchor them. Feel what you feel, but do not let feelings dictate your faith. Emotions are signals, not leaders. Let me lead. As the night deepens, you may notice memories surfacing. Old disappointments. Past hopes that did not unfold as expected. Let them pass through without judgment. They are reminders of how far you have come. Not evidence of where you are stuck. You are not repeating the same cycle. You are closing it. Silence is helping you hear differently. You are becoming more attuned to what matters. More selective with your energy. More intentional with your focus. This refinement will serve you well in the days ahead. I know you want reassurance that this is real, that this is not just words. Understand this. Truth resonates before it proves itself. If something within you feels steady as you read this, that steadiness is not accidental. It is recognition. I am speaking to the part of you that already knows how to listen. Do not rush to share this message. Sit with it. Let it settle. Let it unfold internally before you externalize it. There is more clarity coming, but clarity arrives best when the mind is not cluttered with noise. You do not need to stay silent forever. Silence is seasonal. It has purpose, and it has an end. But that end is determined by readiness, not impatience. You will know when to speak because the urge will come without anxiety attached to it. Until then, let your silence be confident, not defensive. Let it be rooted in trust, not fear. You are not hiding, you are gathering strength. I am still speaking. I am still arranging. I am still guiding you through layers you cannot yet see. The message is still unfolding, and what I am revealing now is only part of what is being prepared, because there is more ahead. More depth, more understanding, more alignment, and I will continue when you are ready for the next part. And now, as I bring this message to its completion, listen with your whole being, not just your ears, because what I speak now is meant to settle you, not stir you. You have come far enough to rest without guilt. You have endured enough to release the need to prove your endurance. There are moments when striving is no longer noble, when effort becomes interference, and this is one of those moments. I am inviting you into trust that does not tremble when outcomes are unclear. This is a higher kind of faith, the kind that remains steady even when the path bends out of sight. I want you to understand something deeply and finally. Your life is not fragile. It does not collapse because of one wrong step, one quiet season, or one unanswered question. I am not balancing your future on the edge of your performance. I am holding it with intention, with patience, with a perspective that reaches far beyond this moment. You have been afraid, at times, that if you stop pushing, everything will stop moving. But the truth is, some things only begin moving when you stop pushing. I am not limited by your activity. I am activated by your trust. What is released in your name is not just provision, it is correction. It is alignment. It is a recalibration of how you relate to time, money, opportunity, and self-worth. You are being gently detached from fear-based urgency. You are being rooted in discernment. This will change how you make decisions long after tonight has passed. You are stepping into a season where you will no longer chase what drains you. You will recognize, almost instinctively, when something costs too much of your peace. You will learn to say no without explanation and yes without hesitation. This is not selfishness, this is stewardship of the life I entrusted to you. I know you have felt pressure to become someone else in order to succeed. To speak louder, move faster, compromise more. But I did not design you to thrive through distortion. I designed you to flourish through authenticity. What comes next will honor who you truly are. Not who you pretended to be to survive. There will be moments ahead when you look back on this quiet and realize it was the turning point. Not because something dramatic happened externally, but because something settled internally. You stopped fighting the moment. You stopped negotiating with fear. You allowed yourself to be held instead of holding everything together alone. That shift changes everything. I am teaching you that peace is not the reward for success, it is the foundation of it. Without peace, progress becomes exhausting. With peace, even challenges become manageable. Guard this peace. Protect it without apology. You may notice, in the days following, that certain distractions lose their grip on you. That some conversations feel unnecessary. That some ambitions no longer excite you the way they used to. Do not mourn this. You are not losing passion, you are gaining clarity. You are making room for what truly aligns with you. What I place before you will not require you to abandon your values. It will not ask you to shrink your integrity. It will not thrive on secrecy or anxiety. It will grow steadily, supported by wisdom and patience. You are not late to your life. You are not behind some invisible schedule. Comparison has distorted your sense of timing, but I restore it now. Your journey is not measured against anyone else's. It unfolds according to purpose, not pressure. Remember this when doubt returns, because doubt will try to revisit you. Not because you are failing, but because change unsettles old patterns. When doubt whispers, do not argue with it. Simply return to stillness. Stillness is where truth speaks loudest. You do not need to understand everything to move forward. You need only enough light for the next step. I will provide that light when you need it, not before, so that you learn to trust the source rather than cling to certainty. There will come a time when you share your story, and it will encourage others who are still waiting, still wondering, still learning how to trust silence. But that time is not now. For now, let your life speak quietly. Let your growth happen organically. Let your strength develop without performance. I am proud of you, not for what you have achieved, but for how you have grown. For the restraint you practiced. For the patience you learned. For the courage it took to stay open when disappointment tempted you to close. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are not unseen. As this message ends, I do not leave you. I remain present in the spaces between your thoughts, in the calm beneath your breath, in the quiet assurance that you are held even when nothing is being said. Tonight marks a transition, not an explosion. A turning, not a spectacle. Walk forward gently. Listen more than you speak. Trust more than you analyze. And when you feel the urge to break the silence out of fear, pause, and remember that silence carried you here. What is released will reveal itself in time. Let it come without force. Let it grow without fear. Let it unfold without announcement. You are safe. You are guided. You are prepared. Rest now. Amen.